Under Armour, you don't think sneakers and Lycra when you think consumer electronics show, but you do.
Yes.
Why?
Because the world's changed. I think that the convergence between what somebody does and the one thing we know is the more that people exercise and work out, the more shoes and shirts they're going to have to buy. So ultimately, that's what led us into this world of the connected life that got us into connected fitness more than 2 years ago with our first acquisition of MapMyFitness. So that was December of 2013. There were 20 million registered users. Today, with our other two acquisitions, there's more than 160 million registered users in our community today.
And of our digital data, interesting.
And of our 4 apps that we had 192,000 downloads just on Monday alone. So scale is extraordinary here, and really delivering something back to that consumer is the goal that we have with the launch of our new Under Armour HealthBox.
Yeah, so this isn't just, is it actually a box, or is there anything in the box?
So in the box, there's 3 items.
Oh, there are things in the box.
So there's a wearable device, there's a scale, and there's a heart rate strap.
Working with props in Vegas, I feel like I'm Carrot Top or something.
Well, and the idea here is that for me, for my health, is that just imagine, you know more about your car than you do about your own health and fitness. And just think like what that means. Is that I get in my car, how much gas, how much oil, how much tire pressure. But you ask me about my health, how many days were you sick last year? And you'll have this look going, I don't know. If you ask me, I'm like, I get sick every time it goes from summer into fall, every time it goes from winter into spring. But I'm going, if you ask me, with empirical data, that's something that we want to be able to capture with this unique feature that we have called How Do You Feel? Because wearable devices have been around for a long time, but they tell me how many steps I took and how much I slept. It doesn't give me a call to action to actually do something about it. And that's where the 4 components that we have, the quadrants we have, because of the app community that we've assembled with measuring sleep, measuring fitness, measuring activity level, how many steps that you took, and finally measuring nutrition, which is how much did I put in my body. And MyFitnessPal is the leading, last year alone across our app community, we had over 2 billion workouts logged into our community and more than 8 billion, nearly 8 billion foods logged into our community. So we have the greatest picture. It's the largest database of food ever assembled in the history of mankind. So we're taking that information and be able to give that back to the consumer in a really simplistic way with this product called Under Armour HealthBox.
Are you able to run, these are typically very low gross margin businesses, although that has not been the case with, at least we can see the published results from Fitbit, where they actually have pretty high gross margins. But this place is chock full of knockoffs of people trying to do these things. So that leads to 2 questions for you. Number one, can you run this at an almost zero margin because you're really trying to using it as a loss leader to drive apparel sales? And number 2, do you have data that is unique that maybe makes your product work a little bit better than the other things out there?
Yeah, so number one, Under Armour doesn't do zero margin. So we get in things because we're going to win, because that's a winning company, and that's the way that we look at, I think the life is what we see with HealthBox, is giving consumers and arming them with information to help them win with their own personal health and fitness. I mean, think about how little you know about your own health and fitness. I mean, that idea of knowing more, I could tell you my bank balance, my stock price, but ask me about my health, and it's a ridiculous subjective answer. So that's what HealthBox and the Under Armour Record platform, it's a new app that we launched just yesterday or on Monday, and the Record platform is something that gives you this snapshot, this daily dashboard of effectively saying, how do you feel? On a scale of 1 to 10, just how do you feel every single day? And imagine if I could look back and say, last week, last month, I rated myself a 9 or a 10 3 times. What's the activity that led to that? Well, you slept at least 7 hours, you definitely exercised, you ate no more than 2,000 calories or 1,500 calories that day, and your weight was below, for me, it's below, 210 pounds. Like, those are the things I look at and saying, as I can start really dialing in on things that make data for me that's easy for me and digestible, that allow me to make proactive decisions to make my life better.
How does this put you ahead of companies that are doing fitness trackers, whether it's Fitbit or Jawbone or Garmin?
So these are licensed relationships that we have. So this is a partnership with HTC. We've built the Under Armour HealthBox. $400, incredibly simple, off the shelf. And also with JBL Harman, we've got this product in our new headphone set that we have. So, I think that what makes it unique is the 3-pronged approach. It's not just telling me, how much should I sleep or how many steps, but it's truly giving me a picture of what do I do that's actionable to make myself feel better. And there's an entire insights engine that we're using these 3 components to it. It's number 1, I can measure myself. How did I compete or compare versus how I did yesterday or last week or last month? How did I compare
against yourself
versus my friend community, because there's others in my community as well. And third, we have this feature called Just Like Me. And Just Like Me basically gives you the capability to say, of the 160 million people in the universe, there's 4.6 million in the 40 to 45-year-old set that I fall into. And of those 40 to 45-year-olds, like, how much did we sleep last night? Like, I know the average run for a consumer or for the 40 to 45-year-old is 4.1 miles. Am I running more than them, or am I running less than them? Because like, I don't know about you, but I go back to my high school reunion, and like people, they don't look the way that I'd like to look when I'm going to be at my current age. So I'm going, what can I do to gain an edge on anybody who's my side? Or more importantly, how can I use their health or fitness to inform what I'm doing? So that larger community is something that allows you to leverage a much bigger idea about informing my own health and fitness.
In my hometown, everyone's slightly above average.
I imagine so. Look at you.
Let's break this down. Just the headphones alone. What specifically makes this better than the other stuff on the market that's geared towards athletes?
So this is a Bluetooth-enabled headphone developed by JBL Harman. So first of all, it begins with perfect sound. It also has a perfect fit that allows you to run really untethered with the product on runs that you have. There's no long strings that are or cords that are going into your phone, but the Bluetooth capability is something that's pretty extraordinary. So 2 years of developing this with JBL, an amazing partnership as well. So look, we wouldn't put the Under Armour brand on it unless it was ready. We've taken a lot of R&D and a lot of time in testing to make sure that's the case.
It's interesting. I always make the argument every company is technology oriented, but your company is certainly putting that front foot forward.
But I think we've got the ability, like the brand is a special thing. You know, brand is something that must be protected. And our job is making sure that any partners that we bring on, anybody that we put the Under Armour brand onto, the consumer just wants to say it's the best. And so partnering here, partnering with our headphones, it's the best.